Bernie, let's start at the beginning, before you were even Bernie Clifton.
Before I was, yeah.
Your book is fantastic. We will talk about your book all the way through. You've got a book out.
Really?
It's called From Crackerjack to Vegas. Crackerjack to Vegas. There you go. So apologies
my kind of people, yeah.
Apologies for ripping that off in my own podcast, as I've realised, talking to you and Johnny Ball, how much of my stuff is just from 1970s television. But we're very close to not having you here at all. I mean,
this was Charles Street,
yeah.
St Helens, at age 4. But even going back, my mum and dad were the Variety Act. They had a kind of a Romney act. And my dad used to sit on stage playing gypsy violin, and my mum would go around the audience selling pegs. Now that is funny. Don't lose me so quickly, will you? Anyway, halfway through the week at the Apothecaries Hall in Dumfries, she actually gave birth to me live on stage, and it went down so well they kept it in the act. Now, but then they moved to St Helens, to 59 Charles Street, yeah. And at the age of 4, it's when she always wanted a semi-detached house. My mum did. Yeah. You know, these were little terrace cottage. And she got a wish. She got a wish thanks to a developer, a property developer, called Herman Goring. And September 1940... this bomb. We were the Quinn family, Bernard Quinn. I'm Bernard Quinn, one of 5 boys, ultimately, mum and dad. And we lived at 59 Charles Street. Now, this is true. 61 was the Noctons, 63 was the Rigbys, 65 was the Knowles family, and 67 was the Cassidys family. And Vera Cassidy was a young girl, she was about 14 years old, and I was 4 years old. And on this particular night... the Mrs. Knowles picked her kids up when the sirens went off and took them to her sister's house 4 streets away and missed the blast. So this is a true, but I made a sort of a little poem about it, but it's a true story. Little lads in Charles Street lying in the beds, German plane came over and the bomb just missed their heads. It's more than 80 years ago, but I can still remember when they dropped that bomb on Charles Street, 1940. In September. Now, the night before, back in Berlin, Hitler called up his Luftwaffe chief. Herman, you're off back to Liverpool. Give them scousers more grief. Go straight for docks tomorrow, but go steady, there'll be lots of flack. Oh, save a bomb for Charles Street. St Helens, it's on your way back. Now, Herman didn't argue because he knew what Hitler was like. Not much point in falling out with this nutter that's running Third Reich. So he clicked his heels, shouts Sieg Heil, dropped a few Nazi salutes, but he wished he'd left out that heel-clicking bit. He'd forgot he wasn't wearing his boots. So there we were, Danny, Bernard and John, same bed, laid top to tail, but we didn't do much sleeping when we heard the sirens wail. Sudden crash, ceiling came down, we were well and truly plastered. Yeah. That was when I heard that brand new word. I think it rhymed with plastered. My dad was doing night shift in the factory down the road, more than half a mile away, but they heard the bomb explode. They dropped a bomb on Charles Street. Shout went round the shop. When he heard the cry, his mouth went dry. He thought his heart would stop. He dropped his tools and off he went to Charles Street at the double, crawling on his hands and knees through all the smoke and rubble. One by one, they pulled us out. Danny, Bernard and John. That was the first time I heard him say, keep on keeping on. Now the bomb had hit the Cassidy's house, slap bang on 67. And when I asked my dad, where's Vera? He said, Vera's up in heaven. But we must keep on keeping on. It's all that we can do. Don't even think of giving up when the world's been cruel to you. And when you're thinking, what's the point? And you feel all hope is gone. I always remember what my dad once said, keep on keeping on. Thank you.
Can we get Brian Blessed back?
Well, we've started with death and disaster.
We started. I don't think I'm going to have to do much today, which is good. It's all right. I'm not been well. It's good to be.
It's upside down anyway, that book.
This book.
A bit like my life.
But look, it's incredible to have that so early, and that it is that little twist of fate, and it's obviously terribly tragic as well. Vera might have been funnier than you. Who knows? So we could have had Vera here.
Anybody that lived in Charles Street was funnier than me, believe me, tell you. No, but the thing is, you as a youngster, in the midst of all that, you kind of accept it because it's the way things were. It was like going to school. I was at Holy Cross Primary School, and we all wore the clogs. Yeah. We actually had clogs on, and to have shoes on, you were a cut above. And I always remember, ultimately, at the age I passed my scholarship at the age of 10, 11. And they came round and said, congratulations, you passed the scholarship. And I thought it was great because my elder brothers, Danny and John, they hadn't passed their scholarship. They're 11 plus, as we called it then. And this lad came round. He'd passed the scholarship the year before, Gerard Finney. And he looked at me and he said, you can't go to West Park Grammar School. I went, why not? Because he said, you're wearing clogs. Do you know what? I broke my little heart. I went home sobbing, and Miss Shacklady, the teacher, said, what's the matter with you, Bernard Quinn? I said, well, Gerard Finney said I can't go to grammar school because I'm wearing clogs. And she must have written to my parents and said, young Bernard has passed his scholarship. And they went out and somehow got me a pair of shoes. Yeah. And I wore those shoes, and that was when I actually found myself at West Park Grammar School, and I'd got no right to be there. I was an 11-year-old, totally out of his depth. And on opening morning, Billy Forshaw, a bright lad who had gone to primary school with, said, sit at the front with me, Bernard. And on the back row, Tommy Anderton said, come and sit on the back with me. Needless to say, I made the wrong choice. I sat on the back row with Tommy Anderton, Arthur Cunningham, McGann and McNamara, and we were referred to by one of the teachers as saying, there they are, McGann, McNamara, Cunningham, Harrison, Quinn, birds of a feather lounge together. And of course, and I was a total failure. I couldn't wait. The only plus in my life at that time was I lived up the road from Arthur Cunningham. And Arthur Cunningham was a bright lad, and I used to go down to Arthur's half an hour before the school bus, and I'd copy all the homework. And that was my way of getting through as an 11-year-old. Until ultimately, I was called into the headmaster's study. He said, right, Bernard Quinn, we've had the exam results. He said, you've been copying, obviously, from Arthur Cunningham. He says, no, sir. No, I haven't, sir. He said, look at question 1. Cunningham's put no. You've put no. I said, well, it's a coincidence, sir. He said, well, question 2. Cunningham's put yes. You put yes. I said, well, it's a coincidence, sir. Question 3. Cunningham's put don't know. You've put neither do I.
So we got up to 11. We're 11. He's 11. He's 11. 25 minutes in. I hope you're ready for a long night.
And he's only
No
11.
Yeah.
But I was a total failure. I was absolutely out of my. I didn't understand any of it. And my parents came, but I was captain of the second cricket 11. So I was good. I was good at something, but apparently it's not. You're not going to get a job by being captain of the second cricket 11 at West Park. But apart from, I got 8 wickets for 6 runs. It was a local blind school we were playing. But still,